A pregnant woman got struck by lightning on her way home. Right before dying, she gave birth to a weird baby boy, pale as a ghost with zero hair anywhere. His dad took one look and was totally disgusted. Didn't even think twice before abandoning the little guy. The baby started crying like he knew what was up. The doctor rushed over to check him out, but his brain scan was going absolutely crazy. This meant he was born with superhuman intelligence. Later, the grandpa took the baby home. Since he looked so freaky, they kept him locked in the basement. Until 16 years later, when Grandpa suddenly dropped dead. When cops came to collect the body, they heard about the boy from the neighbors. Scared he might have turned into some kind of wild child, the sheriff quickly called the orphanage director to figure out how to approach this kid. They carefully walked into the basement, but surprisingly, the place was actually pretty clean. They saw the boy curled up in a dark corner. The director gently reached out her hand, softly coaxing him to come out. But when they got a good look at him, they both froze. His skin was white as snow, but his eyes glowed this creepy red. No wonder neighbors said he looked like a ghost. Then the sheriff asked him some basic questions. He said his name was Jeff. From his calm and polite way of talking, they could tell this was actually a well-mannered kid. During their chat, the director picked up a random book. She never would have guessed someone would actually enjoy reading such complex stuff. Jeff told her to flip to any page. Then he recited that entire page word for word. The director was absolutely mind-blown. Looking at all these books around the room, she asked Jeff if he had memorized all of them. Jeff confirmed he had, but this was just the tip of the iceberg of his genius. After learning Jeff's grandpa died, the house was getting taken by the government. The director decided to bring him to the orphanage. This was Jeff's first time leaving the little house. But as soon as he got near the police car, the car started honking like crazy. The sheriff felt something was off. He looked around and noticed the house roof was covered in lightning rods. He suddenly remembered the coroner's report. Grandpa died naturally, but his body was full of electrical current. The sheriff decided to keep an eye on Jeff. That evening, Jeff and the director arrived at the orphanage. Because of his strange appearance, he caught everyone's attention as soon as he got out.
What the hell is that?
People always have weird hatred for anyone different. On Jeff's second day at the orphanage, he was getting mocked and ridiculed by everyone. He chose to ignore them, but that just made people more curious. Finally, some bully couldn't take it anymore. He brought his crew over to Jeff. After making fun of how he looked, he asked if Jeff knew the orphanage rules. When Jeff still didn't react, the bully lost his patience. He grabbed Jeff's food tray, made him balance a spoon on his nose, trying to humiliate Jeff. Everyone gathered around to watch the show. After thinking for a moment, Jeff took the spoon. Just when everyone thought he was giving in, he did something totally unexpected. He stood the spoon up on the table. Everyone was confused, but then the next second, he pulled all the metal forks and knives in the cafeteria toward him. Nobody had ever seen anything like this. They were all completely stunned, but the show wasn't over yet. An iron spoon stood up from a food tray and moved across the room to him. This was his second superpower, magnetic control over metal objects. But this didn't win anyone over. Instead, they thought he was more of a monster and hated him even more. Later, the director sent him to school, hoping he could fit in with the group. But Jeff ran into trouble in his very first physics class, when the teacher opened up some equipment to explain electricity. For some reason, that buzzing electrical sound made Jeff super anxious. The metal objects on his desk started reacting too. He tried his best to control himself, but the stronger current seemed to reflect his inner turmoil. Then the next second, an electric arc shot across the classroom straight into Jeff's chest. He instantly got electrocuted. The students were terrified. The teacher was shocked for a moment before snapping back. He quickly grabbed a chair and smashed the equipment, finally stopping this accident. He rushed to check on Jeff, but the moment he touched him, all the hair on his arms stood up, along with this weird, pleasant feeling. The teacher immediately realized this kid wasn't normal. He quickly sent him to the hospital for a full checkup. As expected, the results shocked everyone. Jeff not only had superhuman physical abilities, his intelligence was way beyond any genius in the world. It was unprecedented and off the charts. Experts immediately went crazy. They all tried convincing him to go into research. He could definitely make huge contributions to humanity. But what they didn't know was, Jeff's third ability was reading people's minds. Those greedy, selfish thoughts made him sick. Now he just wanted to go home, hide forever in that dark but safe basement. Once this thought took hold, it became unstoppable. Finally, one day, he found a chance to sneak out of the orphanage. Maybe the outside world made him feel more relaxed. When a little dog came barking at him, he wasn't scared at all. Instead, he lovingly petted it. Then a girl ran out. Jeff immediately recognized his classmate Annie. Her energy field was so clean. This made Jeff quickly drop his guard. They chatted and laughed for a while. This was Jeff's first time experiencing what it felt like to have a crush. brush. But soon the sheriff found him and sent him back to the orphanage. Maybe after all this time Jeff had seen through human nature's coldness. He no longer wanted to deal with humans. Most of the time, he preferred talking to animals. When he had free time, he'd put his hands on the ground, focus his mind to send signals to nature. Moments later, small animals would come out from the leaves to play with him. But this day, he happened to run into the bully hunting in the woods. Without saying a word, he raised his hunting rifle to scare Jeff. A gunshot rang out from far away, and the bully ended his prank. All three of them ran toward the gunshot. They found a police officer who had shot a small deer. He was proudly showing off his amazing shooting skills, saying the deer wouldn't feel any pain this way. Jeff thought he was totally heartless. Then he knelt down to touch the deer's wound, while grabbing the officer's hand. Instantly, a wave of pain spread through the officer's entire body. He collapsed to the ground in agony. He felt the deer's panic and pain. And as the messenger, Jeff also felt this suffering. This was his fourth superpower. He could feel all living things and make all living things feel. The officer was scared out of his mind. He could never hurt another living creature again.